I'm 93 years old and I've been living on my own for 15 years now. When my husband Harold passed away, everyone around me panicked. "Peggy, you'll be so lonely," they said. "Peggy, you should move closer to the kids. Peggy, you really need to get out more." Well, 15 years have gone by. I haven't moved. I don't go out much. And yet, I am perfectly, completely, wonderfully fine. I'm not lonely. Not once in all these years have I truly felt lonely. And I suspect there are more people like me than the world wants to admit. People who are happy alone, but feel there's something wrong with them because society keeps insisting that happiness requires constant company. So today, I want to share what I've learned. 5 essential tips for living alone without feeling lonely. Tips that might help someone reading this right now. Tip 1 is the most important, and it's something most people misunderstand. Being alone is not the same as being lonely, not even close. You can be alone and completely content. You can be surrounded by people and feel empty, invisible, desperate for connection. Loneliness isn't about proximity, it's about connection, feeling known, feeling understood, feeling valued. You can get that from one meaningful conversation a week, and you can miss it entirely at a crowded party of 100 people. So the first question isn't, am I alone too much? It's, do I have connection that truly matters? That's a completely different question, and an important one. For me, that connection is my daughter, Karen. We talk every Sunday. 20 minutes, maybe 30. That's enough. Some people need more. That's fine. But don't assume you need constant company just because the world tells you you should. Learn what you actually need. It might surprise you. It's often far less than you think. Tip 2 is all about structure. When you live with other people, your day comes pre-shaped. Meals together, shared routines, the rhythm of someone else's schedule. Your life has built-in structure. But when you live alone, the days can easily blur into each other if you don't create your own rhythm. Without it, time slips past, and even the simplest days feel empty. For me, structure begins at 7 a.m. sharp. I make tea, the same cup, the same tea, the same chair by the window. I watch the birds at my feeder for 20 minutes, noting their flutters and visits. Then I read the news, then breakfast. Every step feels small, ordinary, yet grounding. It says, today is real, today has shape. When Harold was alive, I always made dinner at 5:30 p.m. That's when he got hungry. After he died, I realized I wasn't even hungry until 7 p.m. most nights. So I changed it, and it felt incredible. Freedom, choice, the joy of finding your own rhythm instead of matching someone else's. This is what living alone can teach you. You get to decide your life. That is not loneliness, that is liberty, the quiet independence of designing your own day, your own pace, your own little rituals. And believe me, there's power in that. Even simple routines, watering plants, writing a journal, making your bed the same way each morning can anchor your life. They transform ordinary moments into something meaningful. They remind you that you are in control, even when the world feels chaotic. Tip 3 is about having something that depends on you, because when you live alone, it's easy to drift through the day without a reason to get out of bed. Having something or someone that truly counts on you gives your life a purpose and rhythm, even on the hardest mornings. For me, that's my cat, Mildred. She's 11 years old, very opinionated, and has a strict breakfast schedule, 7:15 a.m. sharp. If I'm late, she lets me know. Loudly, persistently, without apology. I can't ignore her, and that's exactly what I need. It doesn't have to be a pet. It could be plants, a small garden, birds you feed, or even a creative project. Something alive, or something that truly matters, that requires your attention. That tiny responsibility gives your day structure and meaning, even when you don't feel like doing anything else. I also keep a bird journal. Every bird that visits my feeder, I write it down. Date, time, species, how many. It might seem small or silly, but it's something to notice, something to watch for. When you live alone, the world can feel silent, too quiet. Having something to focus on keeps your mind engaged, your heart curious, your spirit alive. And yes, there will be days when you don't feel like it. Days when the weight of the quiet house is almost too much. Those are the days that having a living responsibility matters most, because it reminds you, I am needed, I am capable, I matter. That's the secret. Living alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means choosing what deserves your energy and letting it give you joy, purpose, and connection in a way the world might not recognize. Tip 4 is about the people you allow into your life. When you live alone, your social energy is finite. You can't pour yourself into everyone, and you shouldn't. Choosing who you spend your energy on is essential for your peace of mind. I have 3 close friends. That's it. Margaret from church, we've known each other for over 60 years. Doris from my book club. And my neighbor Helen, who's 86 and also lives alone. These are the people I genuinely enjoy, who know me, understand me, and make my life richer. Compare that to the 20 or 30 acquaintances I've met over the years, the ones I'd feel obligated to chat with, smile at, or perform for. The difference is staggering. One meaningful connection is worth 10 shallow ones. One friend who truly knows you is worth 20 casual hellos. I used to feel guilty for having such a small circle. I thought I should want more friends, more invitations, more parties. But I've learned that quality always outweighs quantity. It's not about being antisocial, it's about being intentional. If you're an introvert, give yourself permission to keep your circle small. There's nothing wrong with valuing depth over breadth. A few real relationships will feed your heart more than dozens of hollow interactions ever could. So when you live alone, choose wisely, protect your energy. Spend it on people who matter, who see you, who lift you up, who make you feel truly connected. The rest, let it pass. Life is too short to exhaust yourself on noise. Tip 5, the most important one, is learning to truly like yourself. Because when you live alone, you are your constant companion. If you can't stand your own company, living alone will feel unbearable. But if you can enjoy yourself, it can be wonderful, liberating, and deeply fulfilling. It took me years to get here. I spent decades thinking I was too quiet, too boring, too much of a homebody. I compared myself to outgoing people and felt like I was doing life wrong, but I wasn't. I was just doing life differently, and differently isn't wrong. I enjoy reading quietly in the morning, sipping my tea, watching the birds, petting Mildred, going to bed early. I don't like parties. I don't like small talk. I don't like being busy just for the sake of being busy. And at 93, I finally stopped apologizing for it. If you live alone and struggle, ask yourself, am I struggling because I'm lonely or because I think I'm supposed to be lonely? Those are different problems. The first one needs connection. The second one needs permission. Permission to be content with a quieter life than the world insists you should want. I miss Harold. I do. 47 years together leaves an empty chair that never stops being empty. But missing someone isn't the same as being lonely. I carry him with me in memory and in love, and yet I have a full life without him. Different from before, yes, but still rich, still joyful, still mine. My children worry about me being isolated. I understand why. But I'm not isolated. I'm quiet, content, grounded. I have my routines, my cat, my birds, my books, my 3 friends. I have Sunday calls with Karen and visits from my grandchildren at Christmas. I have more than enough. Some people are built for solitude. I am. Maybe you are too. And if you are, know this. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not missing something everyone else has. You're just wired for quiet. and quiet, when embraced, can be a rich, powerful, and joyful life. So remember the 5 keys. Know the difference between alone and lonely. Build your own routine. Have something that needs you. Choose your people carefully. Make peace with yourself. That's all I've got for today. Now it's time for my afternoon tea, and Mildred is giving me the look that says, "Enough talking, Peggy, let's move." Be well, be quiet if you wish, and most importantly, be content with your own company. Alone doesn't mean lonely. Cherish your quiet, embrace yourself, and live a life only you can create. Subscribe for more wisdom and tips, and be well.